Okay. First question. First, state and spell your name for the record.
Gabe Tovar.
And how's it spelled?
Gabe Tovar.
Okay. Were you at school on the day of silence, April 17th, 2009?
No.
You were not?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
Did your parents pull you out through the attendance office?
Yes.
Did you ask them to, or did they do it of their own accord?
It was kind of like, I guess like I had mentioned National Day of Silence, and then they were like, oh yeah, you don't have to go to school. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to go to school. So it was kind of like a mutual type of deal.
Okay. Why didn't you want to go to school?
I just thought that the National Day of Silence is kind of like disruptive. It's not like I'm like bashing gay people or anything, but it's like if you don't have to talk, shouldn't, or why do I have to talk? And at the same time, like if gay people are trying to get like us to be equal, or straight and gay people to be equal, then why are they setting themselves apart and making it not equal?
How is your learning disrupted by people not talking?
No, well, I was at school. So,
right, but I mean, it
wasn't my sophomore year. Like I was in a Spanish class, and we were doing like a lot of talking that day, and I was just sitting in Spanish, and I was like, there was probably 5 people not doing that or doing National Day of Silence, and he would, and Mr. Hollingsworth would just like ask them a question, they just hold up their little National Day of Silence card, or it'd take like 5 extra minutes for them to write out like a paragraph. So that was my only thing, and it wasn't like I was being like hating on them or anything. It was just like, if you want us to be equal, well then let's be equal. It's not like, I guess I just didn't really understand the day for it to be like a protest that's in a classroom.
So with that event, like, how did that disrupt your learning? What did that impede upon?
Well, that just it didn't really stop me from learning, but at the same time, it was a distraction to learning. It wasn't so much disruptive as much as it was a distraction.
Okay, so
because I'm seeing other people not talking, I'm like, oh wow, why aren't they talking? Then I learn about it, and then that's all I think about during that entire day is all these people that are talking I do during class.
Okay. And so while you're thinking about that, that's what disrupts your learning, is just that you can't.
Correct. Yeah,
okay.
It's the idea of someone's being able to protest in a room because of in a classroom because of something, and I'm not going to participate because I don't necessarily agree with that. But it's like, why? I mean, maybe we should have a different day for straight people at the same time.
Okay. So what do you think you'd be protesting if you had a day for straight people?
I haven't thought about it. I haven't given any thought. I haven't thought of a certain topic necessarily, like, oh, we should protest this, but it's just the fact of why do you guys have it, because I understand why, but at the same time, why is it allowed, I guess. I don't have such a problem with the day itself. I have a problem that it's allowed at school, is my biggest thing.
Do you know, what is your opinion about what the day is about?
It's about gays being treated equally for, like the one kid who got like beat and killed like a while ago, and so that's kind of just my overall, like, that's what I understand the day is about.
About equality?
Yeah, it's about equality, and for me, it's like, well, if you want to be equal, then don't set yourself apart.
Okay. So you were gone that day. What did you do that day while you were gone?
That day, it was a Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I slept in till like 11, and then I had to submit a thing for my speech class, and then I just hung out with people. I don't know exactly what we did, but we didn't really do anything. We just hung out.
So, do you think it was more disrupting for you to not be at school, or more disrupting for them to be at school?
More disrupting. Well, I wasn't disrupted because, I mean, I didn't miss really anything at all. Because I didn't have any homework that I had to turn. Like, when I got to school Monday, I asked all my teachers, they're like, nope, you don't have anything to make up. All I had to do was submit that thing for speech because I wasn't in the classroom, but it was an online deal.
Okay, so if that day had
been... So I can see where you're coming from with that. Well, maybe it was more disruptive that you weren't there, but at the same time, if I was there, I would have been thinking about that day the whole time, whereas I wasn't there and I just totally forgot about the day. It wasn't even on my mind.
If the day had been on your mind throughout the day, like you'd mentioned that it distracted you from the day, and it wasn't that big of a day, you said, like there wasn't that much homework. Like, would the distraction really have mattered? Do you think that day?
I don't know. I wasn't at school. I mean, I can get where you're coming from. That well, if you didn't have any homework, then it was a distraction. But I don't know what we were doing in class. I mean, I wasn't there.
Right. Okay. Um. Okay. So, is the fact that it's like it's just not disruptive, it's distracting. Is that what makes you uncomfortable to go to school like that day? Do you feel uncomfortable, or is it just that you don't want to be distracted?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say I feel uncomfortable, and it's not. I mean, I guess it's really not totally about the reasoning behind the National Day of Science. It's that it's allowed in school, and so stuff like that. Like I'm a very real, like, I wouldn't say political person, but actively involved with things, and so it's like, why is this being allowed, kind of thing that I just don't agree with it, and so why is it being allowed in school?
Okay.
Rather than, I mean, go ahead and protest, but don't distract me and make me uncomfortable, like, I guess, in a classroom.
Are you familiar with the Tinker versus Des Moines School District case?
Yeah, yep. Where it was for, like, shoot. I mean, I'm kind of familiar with it. It was about wearing wristbands, I believe.
Yeah, armbands. And it kind of set the precedent that protesting was totally allowed within the school system.
Right.
Like, do you think that makes it okay to protest, or do you think that, like, the precedent doesn't really matter?
I can understand the precedent, but I think it's kind of a different precedent because you're not talking rather than wearing an armband. I feel that's different.
Are you aware that the black armbands were meant as a symbolic speech, which is also what silence is determined as by law, symbolized speech? So, being that they're both symbolized speech, do you have the same answer?
Yeah, I still would.
Okay. Okay, just one more question. One of the Johnston School District belief statements, you know that little triangle thing in each of the classrooms?
Right, yep.
Okay, one of the district belief statements is, quote, "We believe that the school environment must embrace diversity and promote mutual respect." Do you find that your actions contradict with this belief statement?
No, not at all, because I believe the National Day of Silence is promoting people's beliefs, not diversity.
You believe it's promoting people's beliefs?
Like, the National Day of Science to me in a classroom is saying, hey, these people can have a special type of uplifting and we'll respect what they want to do even though they don't have to talk during class. I mean, to me, what if there was 20 different groups that had a different reason to protest and you had your whole classroom silent for a week?
Right.
Then where does that, I mean, let's go extreme. Like, what if we had 30, 40 different groups that wanted to protest? Now we're going to allow them to promote their beliefs inside a classroom? I mean, a classroom should just be about education. It shouldn't be about, oh, okay, let's promote people's beliefs. I mean, let's embrace diversity, but don't let that get ahead of what school is about.